Feeding time. The tank's been rearranged. I've gotten a rather large piece of Texas Holy Rock. Tank's been established now since the move for about a month. With the move, I changed filtration. I took out the hang-on back filter and replaced it with an eShop's Overflow. That's the black box there in the corner. It runs in addition to the Rena canister filter that I've had on it in the past. Behind the plant is where I hung a PVC return for the sump. Right now everything's off because I was feeding the fish. And it looks like since the move, at least one of the mothers that had a brood made it over from moving from our temporary 55-gallon tank while I rearranged the 75 with the overflow. Because today I found at least 4 half-inch brood hiding in and around a rock. I feed cobalt brand flakes, algae wafers, and brine shrimp pellets. The Sump is primarily a filter and a biologic. I keep a small bag of GFO in there, which is going to move to the canister filter on the next filter change. The canister filter is currently running polishing, and it has a large bag of RO carbon in it. All the debris that's steered up right now is the excess food, and it's going towards the filters now. The blue tube's the canister intake, and the overflow is going to pick up everything coming back across that way. You can see it a little bit. I don't keep a lot of sand on the bottom. There's light coming up in this small cave here. It illuminates it kind of well because the sand is just enough to cover the glass. My largest male here apparently does not have any females, but it looks like the albino zebras have claimed a small spot underneath the slate. They're not too aggressive right now. I don't think they're to a point yet where they've fertilized any eggs. And then my peacocks here, they keep holding ground, but I haven't seen any children. And then I've got a pair of orange zebras. This guy's offspring that's hiding in the rock. I've been finding them in and around the Texas Holy Rock, hiding in the various cave holes, and I saw a half-inch one underneath that pitcher in the back, in the small hole between the handle and the bottom. I use two pieces of rock and sand to keep it so they don't move that around, and it's given some nice cover in the back. You can't see it very well. There's a little guy that keeps coming in and out right there, and another one across the crevice, but they're camera shy. And then I've got two more that hide up here in these holes. Now that the food's gone, they've receded back in. I always had problems with my rock stacks. Never could get them right, or the columns would consume too much. So I got around it this time by using a little bit of marine safe epoxy, and I glued medicine caps to the bottoms of my slate. So I've got some 3.5-inch bottles here holding up the first floor, and just caps on the second. Some of the smaller cory cats and cichlids hide in this really thin shelter. Across the front, to keep the surface moving, I've got this it's a JVJ pump. I think it's rated 585 gallons an hour. And you can see back here in this negative space, we've got some of the others hiding in the cory cats. Some of these cory cats are pregnant again, like that female there in the corner. This will be my third generation of cory cat since my original pair that I got lucky with about 10 years ago. Overall, I'm really happy with the tank since it was moved. There we go. He's been camera shy all morning. He's still guarding his brood in and around the rock. There we go. You can barely see him in the camera, but there's one of the brood hiding around the pitcher in the back. And then hanging there in the back on the wall is a Guardian 300-watt heater. I have to say that's the best heater I ever bought because it's 21 years old and it's still running great. It's gone through several tanks. eShop's Overflow. My plumbing in and out of the tank. And yes, this is a bottle of vodka on the top of the tank. I dose about 10 milliliters of vodka twice a week. It really helps to keep the nitrates under control, in addition to water changes. And you can see some of the epoxy there holding this structure in place so they quit knocking it over. That is my fish tank. It's a Marineland 75-gallon tank. I've had it for about 10 years now. It's gone through several moves, 2 apartments, now here to our home. At some point, I will start a saltwater tank up again in a 75-gallon size, now that I've got a place in our living room for it, but that's going to be a later project. Well, thank you for finding my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.